What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As many of you may remember, there was a video out by Basically Homeless around 18 months ago called Waldo. Now, Waldo was meant to be some form of anti-cheat that would have been unbeatable and unbreakable, allowing people to be able to insert their clips of a streamer they thought was cheating or a content creator, and Waldo would determine whether or not it was. Of course, back when this video came out, it was all just a concept and theoretical. However, Basically Homeless has now updated his YouTube channel with a very good video, which is in relation to the AI anti-cheat, and we're going to take a look at that today. So let's crack on with the video. So for those of you who aren't aware, this is Basically Homeless. Basically Homeless has released another video called Saving FPS Games AI Anti-Cheat. For those of you who do remember, he released one about 18 months ago about Waldo. Now, Waldo was the concept of building an AI-based anti-cheat. They weren't sure about when it was going to be able to be, publicly available, but this is an update regarding that. So we're going to be taking a look into this video today. We've skipped the first part. You've only got the hook and him with a integrated advert. So we're going to start from here, which is called Coming Clean About My Past.
So let me be straight up with you guys. Let me just come clean, okay? I have done steroids. I've never told anyone this. I've never really explained it this way, but I did steroids. Or at least I thought for sure they were steroids. So when I was 14, I wanted to be jacked out of my mind, man. I wanted to look like a bunch of rocks saran wrapped together and be able to bench press a car. And in combination with that desire, my frontal lobe was the size of a walnut. So I got on eBay, I typed in steroids, bought something sketchy, got shipped from China, and then
instantly you just know that it wasn't steroids due to the fact that he bought it on eBay. Let's be honest.
Ingested it. No one ever found out. I wasn't thinking about the consequences. So I'm sitting there playing SOCOM confrontation with the itchiest nipples you've ever seen, man. And I was real confused. I thought I was gonna start lactating, even though no one's ever found out until now. I didn't actually get away with it, because the consequences were that I didn't know with certainty that I wasn't going to start growing lady parts.
So obviously, the concept is there. He's stating that he was able to cheat in bodybuilding and get away with it. But obviously there was still going to be some backlash.
Nipples were itchy, man.
Point is,
his nipples were itchy?
You can take a shortcut to something, but there will be a consequence somewhere.
There you go.
Somehow, someone. So cheating in online FPS games is the worst it's ever been, ever, right now. On every system, console included, at every level, around 30% of players in any given game are cheating.
So this is basically the final form of the AI cheats that single-handedly killed FPS games about a year ago. This program essentially acts as like a mediator between remote play and the game.
All it uses is a live stream of your game. So as long as you have an internet connection that's 2 megabytes per second.
One, it enables mouse and keyboard on console, but what's worse is you can essentially...
So what it's saying is that there are always going to be cheating devices, right? So we're just going to pull it back a little bit because I want you to understand what that device actually is. A YOLO V5.
AI aim assist.
It can use AI to read the screen, find the enemies, send input back to whatever system you're using, console included, and then aim at the enemy for you.
So it's basically just acting as your remote play.
And how actually it is really intricate as well. So the detail that's gone into something like this, just so people can shoot better in a video game, right? It's very detailed. So whether or not the person who's created this used it for personal use or to sell on, it's still very detailed, the effort that's gone into it, right?
Controller.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
and it gives you to feed it.
To get access to it. The godly node. He went in and he infiltrated this website. He made the cheaters love him. He convinced them to like him so that they would give him the cheat. It took months. I'm just kidding. He paid $5.
So for a few bucks or a free version that comes with a virus, you can pretend you're better than everyone else. This can never be detected.
And I just want to point out as well that the footage that is being used throughout this video is from multiple different games as well. So it's obviously proven that even with anti-cheats in games that, people are still able to cheat. It's definitely sickening,
by an anti-cheat scanning what's running on the system, because all of this is running only off of watching the game the same way you do.
I'm having a good day,
So this is
Legion. I
an
hope you are, man.
8-person free-for-all where all of us have cheats installed and one person is chosen at random to enable their cheats, but no one knows who it is. And we're all trying to guess who's the person that has cheats enabled.
Someone's a hacker right now?
Yep.
Someone's a hacker.
Someone should be, at least.
And I like the concept of this game as well. The idea that you have 8 people and one of them is the cheater. It's almost like a murder mystery, right? Now imagine a murder mystery, but instead of murder mystery, somebody doesn't die. You just got one person cheating and everybody has to figure out who it is in a free-for-all. Now that right there is definitely the way forward, because what you will see is that a lot of people are very, very talented in games such as CSGO, such as Apex, such as Fortnite, Warzone. But with the help of cheats, they can just look that little bit better. So it might be actually hard to determine which person amongst the 8 are cheating. That's a very good idea.
Let's go.
I just wanted.
2 back-to-back? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, man. I'm cracked out of my mind. Keep in mind, we have a point system going here, and we're trying to not get detected as the hacker by the other players. Also, these are the devs that are so graciously donating their time to work on the Waldo project for all of us. I'm linking the Waldo Discord and a few other things. Go give them a big thank you.
Whoever that last guy was, I think's the one who was cheating then. Like, let me just pull it back a little bit. I want to see who it is. Is it Husky?
For all of us. I'm linking the Waldo Discord and a few other things. Go give them a big thank you.
That guy then. Husky. So, I mean, I don't know whether or not, like, it's been announced who's cheating, right? But one of the other guys was using the AK-47 in this game earlier, and their aim seemed to be a little bit more jumpy than this.
They're in my spot, dude.
Nice shot.
7.
So take a look at the footage. See if you can guess which one of these angles is someone using aim assist.
I'm thinking homeless, honestly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I saw it.
I thought it was Husky in that first clip, but I don't know now.
Oh, dude, that's a bad idea, boys. I just left this part in so you guys would know it wasn't me and that I'm just cracked out of my mind. I'll be honest, dude, I just had to double check to make sure they were off. I'm just
Enabled.
saying. So make your guess. You're left with a 1 in 3 chance of getting it correct. The answer will be at the end of the video and in the description.
So they've still got Husky in there, so I might be right. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below.
The point is, you can't tell. And if you got lucky, there was a 1 in 3 chance, kid. That's how likely it is to run into a cheater if you play one game today. But what we can't see, an AI can, with certainty.
To our human eyes, this just looks like really good aim.
They're designed to have smoothing and look natural, look like human aim.
But to a trained AI,
Oh my god, please listen to this. Right, I was saying these things over the past 2.5, 3 years, and I was getting laughed at, called a tinfoil hat. And the whole community that we've built on YouTube was being called a tinfoil hat community. They're saying that people could, you know, fine-tune their cheats to make it look humanized. But look at it now. We've got somebody with over 1 million subscribers actually working on an AI anti-cheat who is saying all of the things that we've been saying from the beginning, right? Brilliant.
the difference is night and day. The
It
best way to
kind of
describe
feels
it
like
is
a
like
victory,
having
you
a
know?
trained medical physician try and tell the difference between someone that's really jacked on steroids and then like a dog. There's no mistaking. Couldn't just a really advanced AI cheat go undetected with lots of human data? No, this is a permanent solution to end the cat and mouse forever, and I will explain why I'm getting there.
A lot of people ask, what about ESP? Okay. What would you say is the most distinguishable trait to tell if someone is cheating based on your experience of, you know, like antagonizing them in game?
I mean, there are a lot of things.
This is Goat, aka Tim. He wanted to know just how many people were cheating in Tarkov, so he installed cheats with the intentions of finding the cheaters.
Kill to death ratio. What gun?
So I like this, right? You know, from the beginning, we've been honest and open about why we downloaded cheats, why I downloaded cheats to test them. so that I could figure out who in the game was cheating. I used to run around the game using, and we're talking about Warzone here, I used to run around with just wall hacks on just to see who was cheating. Now, unfortunately, right, the cheats that were available never gave this level of information where it was talking about the player's KD. But you could still tell if somebody was tracking you through a wall, and there were so many people in the game cheating, it was unreal. That was one of the biggest eye-openers for me, at least. And now what you've got here, right, and I just want to point this out, this GOAT guy downloaded cheats because he was sick of the cheaters in Tarkov and decided to go on a little bit of a rampage to see who was cheating. But instead of being banished from the community, right, you've actually got basically Homeless including him in his video, as if to say, look, this guy has done some good work, right? Mad how the Call of Duty community does everything the opposite way.
And they have out, how much ammo they have, everything with this cheat. Game sense is something that is a really big deal in a game like Tarkov. How to move around the map,
You
where
are
to
right,
look,
Snail.
how to
I was
set up
the
your
first.
gun.
So what is it that he used to distinguish if someone was cheating or not?
I can't believe it.
No. Before the wiggle, as funny as that is.
This duo was the highest KD that I came across that I think was legit. If you looked at them on the radar, they were just constantly looking around. The little things were just going everywhere. And they were checking areas where just no one was there. It's painfully clear that these two Chads are legit. How refreshing. And then you'd watch these other guys that have like 20-something KD, just running straight into a building, straight to a jacket to get their item, straight out,
Yeah.
and straight a different way. And you know,
Listen to what's just been said, right? So he's just sitting in a bush watching these players, right? And he's just literally spoken about the difference between the ones he believed were legit and the ones he believed were cheating. And the difference was the ones that were legit were ducking and weaving and checking all angles, checking corners, even though there was no enemies there. Now this guy watching alongside his wall hacks knows that there's no enemies there whilst they're checking all the corners, but he can watch everywhere they've gone. So he's watching them walk around the map as you should, right? And then he's watching the cheaters who are running in straight lines directly to whatever it is they want, whether that be loot, whether that be the next enemy to kill. And this is exactly what we've been saying for a long time. If you go back and watch my earlier videos on YouTube, you will see that there are multiple moments of Aiden, Zelena, Mutex, Joe, and everyone in between, right? Where they literally avoid like 5 or 6 houses and go in one. They will run past 6 houses without checking any windows or corners and go in the end one. There's an enemy team in there and they'll wipe them. And these are the things I noticed very early on about their behavior. Definitely the biggest sign of wall hacks you can ever see is when somebody not only pushes into a certain point, but everything they have missed and not checked in between. It was one of the biggest telltale signs, and this guy has just solidified that by stating that in Tarkov, it is exactly the same. You can see the difference by where these guys are checking. Crazy to think, isn't it? That we've been talking about this since the very early days of Call of Duty Warzone Verdansk.
and when you looked around that area on the map, there was nobody that could kill them.
And they just already knew that, so they didn't have to look around.
He was looking at human behavior. Do we know of anything that can kind of detect human behavior?
I don't know. Is there any technology out there that can kind of look at human behavior and see if it's human or not? I don't know, guys. I don't know.
There is an extremely distinguishable behavior between someone using cheats and someone not using cheats.
So we thought, instead of just aim cheats, what about an AI that can detect everything? An AI that analyzes player behavior and determines if they're cheating based on how they're interacting with the game with over 99% accuracy.
This is what will save FPS games.
Now
The issue you've got here, right? The issue you've got here, and I'm going to just clarify this right now. How many of these gamers, these, Warzone streamers, bedroom Warzone streamers, whatever you want to call them, how many of these guys believe they are in the top 0.0001%, right? If this AI anti-cheat is only 99% accurate, they will claim that they are that 1%. They will. They genuinely will. And due to the fact that it's not 100% accurate, I don't believe that any game development company will be able to say, okay, we'll partner with you guys. But then you've got to take a look at Easy Anti-Cheat, how accurate is that? Ricochet Anti-Cheat, how accurate is that? Right? Because the last thing you want is for false bans to start happening. So, is there a way for them to get this 99% accuracy to 100%? Hopefully. But I mean, listen, nothing's perfect. Even AI, it's not perfect. But one thing's for sure, the behaviours that it's talking about, hey, this is what we've been speaking about for a very long time.
Realize that sounds like a pipe dream, like an impossible solution that's years away, another hopeless dream of one-day gaming with no cheaters online. And here's the twist: it already exists. Someone made it, and it wasn't us.
What?
For days, I was tearing my hair out. Why is this not in every single game? What is going on? I had so many theories. Game developers don't need...
So Waldo doesn't exist, but somebody else has already made the AI anti-cheat that they were trying to develop. And they've spent 18 months trying to develop that. Wow.
Anti-cheat. Everyone keeps playing. Cheating in games, this whole other industry, is stimulating the game. As a game dev, why would you stop it?
There is technically financial reward for them if the cheaters keep buying accounts.
AI anti-cheat exists. Game devs are not using it. Luckily, the truth was the simplest answer.
What's the truth?
And just this year, early January 2023, we started to implement it in the games, and so it's starting from now. It's happening as we speak.
This is the CGO and CEO of AnyBrain, the AI anti-cheat that detects everything.
How does it distinguish between someone that is say
Wow.
using like an ESP in a game versus
wow.
someone that isn't?
What we do is every player is providing data about how it is possible to perform the games. So let's say you have a reaction time when you find an opponent and you move to there. There is different cognitive skills that we apply when we are playing a game.
Yeah.
But what we can extract from these behaviors is these cognitive skills that are being applied on a specific moment. They are not human.
So it's learning constantly. Is that okay?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And so what percentage of people would you say are cheating in some form?
We always start with a very high threshold, meaning that we do not necessarily catch everybody, but everybody that we're catching, we're 100% sure. We usually see between maybe 10, 15, 20% of players that are cheating. We are fairly certain that the phenomenon is much higher than that. And again, that's why we created, and Andre created AnyBrain.
My kind of estimation based on a bunch of different...
So even they've just said, you know, they're catching 15 to 20% of the cheaters. So it's obviously much higher than that, but it will learn over time, the AI anti-cheats. The question is, you know, when they decide to incorporate that into new games, so who are they watching to determine what legit gameplay looks like? Or do they invite somebody else to play the game on a specific, you know, setup, you know, that's set up by them or AnyBrain anti-cheat? And then that will pay attention and read the data from that gameplay. So even if they were to invite a cheater out, you would have to play legitimately on that setup, and then it would go back to, if they were to go home and cheat, you know, it would be different behavior. It's very interesting, honestly, and it's a step in the right, a big step in the right direction for sure.
Different numbers was around 30% are using something to improve.
Yeah,
okay.
We're thinking
I was right about Husky, was I?
They're under NDA, so they couldn't tell me exactly which game, but they had data to back up these claims.
Every time we catch somebody cheating, what we need also is multiple moments that have a very high probability of being somebody using a namebot. So a pro will have very few of these moments because they are just very good, right?
Yes,
but in order for us to make that validation actually get flagged of you using, let's say, an aimbot in a game, that means that you will make moves that have a very, very high probability of being aimbots and doing that multiple times.
So let's say hypothetically, I'm only using a very small amount of humanized aim assist. Is this something that you think your system would be able to detect?
Yeah, so first, a lot of people is using that small adjustment that maybe make it invisible on a video, or if you're watching the stream, it's so difficult because the difference is on human eye, it's almost impossible to catch. But the way we interact is still impossible to make it as a human.
Can you expound a little maybe, or maybe help me understand just a little?
I just want to point out, guys, that these are the things we've been talking about for so long. You know, they're talking about an anti-cheat that can detect, they can detect aimbots, even if it has been like the finest of tunes to make it look humanized. It's still noticing the patterns. And you know, when you've got people like myself and it's Tapper who have used these things firsthand, right? And then we are noticing these patterns in other people's gameplay. And their whole fan base comes to the defense saying, you don't know what you're talking about, it's just aim assist, right? So I've researched the cheats, others have researched the cheats, and we know what it looks like when the aim bot is doing things that the game cannot do. And they are essentially now saying that their anti-cheat, their AI anti-cheat, is able to do those things as well. It is able to detect and determine if something is being used to make those micro adjustments, to make those small snaps that aren't there for the untrained eye to see. You know, so streamers using them on stream, on videos, this has been happening for a very long time. And now we are getting to the part of the, you know, the time where there's a solution. I'm so excited about this.
A little better.
Yeah,
wow.
Well, let's say that you are just adjusting a few pixels.
Yep.
The way you move with this adjustment, it will be non-natural timing that is not human. Even if in our eye it looks human.
Right, as well, so we're talking about human timing, right? So the fastest natural human timing. So we've done a video in the past where we spoke about Zenon, right? And we spoke about the fact he was able to track an enemy who was lagging backwards and forwards whilst his aim was locked onto the enemy, right? And there is no human who can have that reaction time naturally. We've done the research, we found out what the fastest ever human reaction time was in FPS games, and it was all shown in that video. But no, everybody was like, hang on, but this is Zenon. He's the next biggest thing in the world, right?
This is just for those who don't know. There are 1000 milliseconds per second, okay? And the reason we are telling you this is simple. We're going to now go on to this website, which is reference.com/science/fastest human reaction time. 0.101 seconds is the current fastest reaction time recorded for human beings. Bearing in mind this was updated on March 29th, 2020. The average reaction time of human beings is around 0.215 seconds. This is determined by the amount of time it takes for people to react when given the proper signal to click. This goes across all aspects, okay? The fastest reaction time for somebody to click is 0.101. That's 101 milliseconds. Okay, why are we talking about milliseconds? Why are we talking about fastest human reaction times? It's simple. If something is recorded at 60 FPS, that's 60 frames per second, that means per 100 milliseconds is 6 frames, okay? Because that's a tenth of a second. 6 frames is a tenth of 60 frames per second. 0.100, which is 100 milliseconds, is 1/10 of 1000 milliseconds. Are you with me? So 6 frames is 100 milliseconds. The current fastest reaction time recorded for a human being is just over 100 milliseconds, 101 milliseconds. Okay? So, if somebody was to be tracking an enemy who is lagging across the screen, frame by frame, how is that possible if the current fastest reaction time recorded for a human being is 0.101? If it's legit, this guy needs to be in the Guinness Book of Records for the ultimate fastest reaction time from a human being. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go and play the lagging player clip and demonstrate to you as we go frame by frame through the clip, and you guys get to see how fast his reaction times actually are. Let's go. So this is frame by frame, guys, and remember that 6 frames is 100 milliseconds, which is better and faster than the current fastest recorded human reaction time. Let's watch this, and you will get to see at the bottom, I'm going to move this up slightly here, right there, just so it's out the way. You guys can see here at the bottom, watch this blue line as I go through it frame by frame, and just watch how he reacts to this lagging player. And you guys are going to get access to this anyway, so you can actually go through it yourself and analyze it in thorough detail. Okay, watch this. And for those saying that he's actually missing shots throughout as well, you need to realize that he is not actually hitting the visual player, because the player is actually lagging that bad. He's hitting the player box where the player actually should be.
But these guys are now saying that their anti-cheat will detect anything that is not human reaction time, right? So if there is a way for me to upload certain clips, certain bits of footage into this, I am going to be doing it. We're going to get to the bottom of every single person who is denied cheating. So we will be doing that at some point. I'm excited. And I hope you guys are too.
It's a level, but also on these patterns, it is not human. So that's why we can catch it. People say, oh, he was cheating. I'm sure because it is impossible to aim on that way. Sometimes it's just lucky, or you are really good. So it's difficult for people to understand, and the result of false claims about, oh, he was cheating or no, because he's so good player, it's impossible. But here, looking just for these patterns in pixel level, we can understand this.
After a few hours of gameplay of someone using a humanized aim assist, it would be able to detect that that's happening.
The usual behaviors, like let's say somebody using an aimbot on Warzone, actually real time plus 5 minutes in order to flag somebody who is using that.
To detect someone in real time can take as little as 5 minutes.
5 minutes in Warzone is what they've said. So, hey, maybe this is why Warzone 2 is dying. Maybe this is why the streamers are looking in other avenues. Maybe this is why a lot of these guys are playing ranked play. Maybe it's why they're moving to Fortnite, why they're trying to big up Counter-Strike 2. Maybe. Right? Maybe this is the true reason. Maybe these guys were aware that something like this existed and they wanted to part ways with Warzone before they could, get caught. But I still want to know whether there's a way to input footage of somebody playing the game and have it read. Get the AI anti-cheat to read that footage. Because if that is the case, hey, listen, we'll be doing that.
Exactly.
Wow, that's really good.
It felt almost like I was in a dream. Like I was gonna wake up and tell Olivia that I had a dream that someone made the AI anti-cheat that solved everything.
And this will happen in the coming months. We are fairly confident that something's gonna happen, something's gonna click in this year.
But it got even better.
2 hours is to create the player profile
for what we call identity frauds.
What they're talking about is a biometric profile, a profile as distinguishable as your thumbprint or your face.
So this will need the baseline of 2 hours because it's unique to each and every one of us as gamers.
On how you play the game. This means that once you get banned, it's not as simple as creating another account. If you create another account, the AI detects your biometric profile. Every account you make will...
Holy shit. That is crazy. And I'm sure this will cause a lot of uproar. We've seen it so many times in the past. People start talking about, even if it's like photographic identification or, I don't know, like, something like photo, where you've got to take a photo of yourself, what's called face recognition, right? People are like, no, that's personal, whatever, breach of personal data or, whatever. Right? These guys will complain about it all. And it happened a lot with Valorant, with the Vanguard anti-cheat. People weren't happy with how intrusive that anti-cheat was. And if anything, it's been the best anti-cheat that has existed in a shooter game that I'm aware of, at least until this one now. So let's see what they've got to say about this creating a new account.
Be banned. There's no hardware ID, it's you. You will be permanently banned from the game, with no chance of ever playing it again.
We're fairly confident that some things are about to change.
The implications of this are insane, especially if the game has a replay system.
If you have ever cheated and the data is saved server side, you are then able to be caught at any point in the future. If you cheat, you will be caught. It's just a matter of time.
The biometric fingerprint of a pro player or streamer could be seen on an alt account that was hacking a year ago, or last week, or currently. Now, I don't know if these things will be done with this data, but I can tell you that FPS games, all online multiplayer games, are saved. Now, the Waldo project is different. It plans to put this power of knowing in your hands. A way to know if any player is cheating simply by scanning the gameplay footage, laying bare the truth, and leaving the effects up to us. We now can...
Okay, so basically the anti-cheat they've been talking about throughout this exists already, but it's being implemented into different games. It is not one that we can access and upload to, but they are still going to be manufacturing Waldo. They're still going to be developing that so that we can upload clips of players, and it will then determine from that clip if there is something inhumane about it, unhuman, like in the, whether it be the timing, whether it be the movements, the snaps, whatever. So that is still a very good sign. Very good sign. So we're going to have something like 2 basically AI anti-cheats.
And in fact, need your help to make it a reality. A full technical update of the Waldo project is...
So you can upload clips at waldo.vision, right? So, I mean, I might just send them the link to my channel and be like, go ham, analyze that. You know what I mean? But it is very interesting to see that there are AI anti-cheats already in the works, as well as already working on different games. And I wonder how long it's going to be now for Activision to implement something similar, or one of these third-party anti-cheats into their game. And if they don't, question is why. So there we have it, guys, with that video. What do you guys think of the anti-cheat? AI anti-cheat detecting things within a matter of 5 minutes in Warzone. That to me is massive. If you did enjoy today's video, guys, smash that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future uploads. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace!